Hello, in this video we'll be talking about the union transformation as found in the toolbox under the transformation section. The union transformation is a dataset transformation that takes two or more datasets and combines them into one dataset. More specifically, it creates a union of those two datasets. So for example, if I have my dataset A here, which consists of all male employees, in this case I have about 10 or so records, and all indicated as male by the gender column here with the M flag. And I have a second data set which is all female employees, designated female by the F character in the gender column, also about 10 or so records. Then the union of dataset A and dataset B is the resultant dataset A plus B. So if I preview this dataset now, you'll see that what comes out of it is all 20 records. So I have 10 records here, 10 records here, and the union creates 20 records, all with the exact same layout here. So here you'll see the first 10 or so. Because this is parallel processing, we have some, some not exactly contiguous, but we do have all records from dataset A and B in this union, and that's what comes up in the output of the target here. So the first thing you'll notice about the union transformation is that it has three subnodes under the root node of this tree. The first node is always the output, and it's what you map from on the right side of the union to your subsequent transformations or targets. The other nodes are the input nodes. In this case I have two because I have two incoming data sets, but you can have any number of inputs to the union. So you'll also notice that the layout of the output is the exact same as the layout of the input. In fact, it's the layout of all the inputs. And the layout is driven by well, one of two ways: whatever you specify in the layout in the properties editor screen, or you can control it through the diagram. So for example, anything I change to the in this case the male's input will reflect on any single node. It'll reflect in that layout. So for example, if I take this element and map it to the new member flag, you'll see that I have this salaried flag underscored 1 in the node I just mapped to, as well as the output node received that new element as well as the other input also received it. And I can control it not just on the first input, but on any input that I control. I change that. So for example, I'm going to take the gender element and map that as well. And here you'll see that we have the gender underscore 1 here in the other input as well as the output. So I'm going to go ahead and undo those changes for now. Alright, and show you how to use it. Okay, so I'm going to start fresh here and go to the toolbox and drag and drop from the toolbox the union transformation onto the diagram. This gives me a blank union transformation with a default single output and default input underscore 1 and input underscore 2. You'll see that these is a tree, and I can expand it, but it just has the blank new member in both input nodes. So I'm going to go ahead and rely on the auto mapping from the diagram, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and open the properties for the union to show you what's available. So the very first thing we can we can build the layout through the standard layout editor screen. I'm going to hold off for this on this and use the auto map actually to do the mapping. So I'm going to go to the next screen, and the next screen is here where you can control the number and the names of the inputs. So here I'm going to change input underscore 1 to males, and then the second one to females, and I'm going to add a third one, unknown, and click OK. So now you'll see that I have an extra node, an extra input node, as designated by the little white triangle here on the left, and I'm just going to auto map onto the inputs here. So that one there, the second data set in the second input, and the third data set onto the third input. Once I do that, I have the output node available for me to map with, and I can just drag and drop from the output node and auto map where I can, and manually map the standard way we map everything else in Centerprise. So now that I've completed the maps on the left and the right side, I can preview this union transformation and see all of the data from all three data sets available for me in the preview. And that's pretty much how you use the union transformation in Centerprise. Thank you very much.